What's good, YouTube? We're gonna talk about the hottest topic today and probably tomorrow until Eric Bledsoe get traded, which is the Philadelphia 76ers have not exercised their option, which means they will not be trying to re-sign or allow Jahlil to be on the team for another year. If they would have exercised them, they would have opted them in and kept him from this year, for next year under a rookie scale contract. Instead, they're going to allow him to become a restricted free agent, which means anybody can send him an offer sheet and any team can try to get him. And they're most likely they're not going to match, because if they can't find a trade partner for Jahlil Okafor, it seems like they're just going to let him walk. And it's hard to gauge how good of a player he is, because he did average 17 points a game his first year, but he didn't play the whole season, and he's coming off a major injury. Not only that, he averaged 17 and 7 and 1 block a game. He shot good from the field. He showed that he can score in this league. He showed that he can score back to the basket. His shot ain't as bad as we thought. He showed that he can make shots in the high post. He showed that he can get to the basket. He showed that he can score consistently. And he showed that he can be a threat and a beast offensively. Defensively, he's too slow. He's not what should I say? He's not horizontal. He can't move. He laterally is the perfect word. You know, he's not a quick lateral mover. He is big. He does take up a lot of space, kind of like Greg Monroe. Greg Monroe ain't the quickest. He's not the best player, but he still is an NBA player. He can still cause you trouble if you have the wrong lineup or the wrong matchup out there, because he can still post you up. He can still beat you up on the block. He can still get the rebounds, and he's going to always be a solid isolation player when you need him. I see a lot of Greg Monroe and Jahlil Okafor, the ability to post up, the ability to rebound, the ability to score in multiple ways in the high post, mid post, or the low post. And he can knock down that jumper from time to time. It's not his bread and butter, but if he really wants to, he can knock down that mid-range jumper. And he has a little hook shot. He has his handles. He's very quick with his handles. He can catch you slipping. I like Jahlil Okafor. I feel like he had the better rookie season between him and Towns until Towns started taking off. Soon as Jahlil went down, Towns just played on a whole nother level throughout the rest of the season. And he showed why he was the #1 pick, and he's showing still. He's averaging 20-plus points, while Jahlil only played 1 game this season. And I think that he's worth at least 2 second-round picks. I think he's worth about what you got for Nerlens Noel. He's going to be 22 years old. He's a legit 6'7". He's a legit 260, and he can always score the basketball. Nerlens Noel, he's a solid defender. He's a pesky defender. He's a lengthy defender, but he can't score the basketball. So I think if you can give him 2 second-round picks or a first-round pick, depending on what team, I think the 3 teams that I will like to see that he can play on and probably get minutes is probably the Hawks. Yeah, you can say they got certain players that they already traded for, and they'll kind of mess them up. But if you're looking at it like that, he is younger. He does show potential more offensively, and he's a guy that you can get a ball to in isolation situations or within the offense. He can dump it off, get dunks, throw it up. He can get putbacks, and he's more versatile than the bigs that Atlanta Hawks has. The Dallas Mavericks, we don't know if they're going to retain Nerlens Noel, because he in the Dallas Mavericks couldn't come up with a contract extension that worked for both sides. So they might be out of a center again, and Jahlil not a defensive anchor, but he can add some offensive firepower to that Dallas Maverick team. And the last team I think that can use him is the Nets. I know the Nets is a rebuilding. They're trying to get more picks. They're not trying to get rid of picks, and they're trying to find who they can build around and what player can change their franchise. And with that being said, I'm looking like I don't really know if Jahlil is that guy, but he is a guy that if you put in the start lineup, he can deliver and give you buckets. And you can even some other team that can use him off the bench if they can get him to agree to an offer. I can see a lot of teams utilizing him, bringing him off the bench like Greg Monroe, and let him get you 10 or 12 points a game, 5 to 6, 7 rebounds a game, and allow him to beat up on the second units of other teams that's not as stacked and don't have as much size. And he's a guy that can get you in foul trouble because he's very quick with his moves, and if you don't anticipate them right, if you don't guard them the right way, he can blow past you, get to the lane, and finish with contact too. I like Jahlil. He showed a lot of potential. He showed that he can be NBA starting center in his league, but I feel like the defense is always going to be a problem just because he don't have the athletic ability to be great at that. And I feel like the free throws, he just don't have the hands and the soft touch from that distance. So I think the free throws and the free throws and the defense gonna be there. The rebounding, I feel like he can fix. I feel like if it depends on the offense you run and how many minutes he has. I don't think he's gonna be that big of a problem on the rebounds because he is big. He is quick enough off that 1 foot, and he can box out because he takes up a lot of space. So let me know what you guys think about Jahlil Okafor. Do you think the Sixers should have kept him? Do you think the Sixers getting rid of Nerlens Noel and Jahlil, but they still drafted Embiid? They drafted 3 straight centers. Then they draft Saric, and then you draft Ben Simmons, and they all play the same position. They all big, but they looking bright right now. They're winning basketball games as of right now. We don't know how the season gonna end for them. And honestly and truthfully, you know, they drafted these talented players, and is either you're going to have to pay them, which they paid Joel, but they still going to have to pay Saric, they still going to pay Ben Simmons, they still going to pay Markelle Fultz. So we're going to have to see what core do they keep. They drafted a lot of high picks, and they can't keep all of them. They can't pay all of them, so we're going to see how it turns out in Philly. But it looks like they're going to pretty much get nothing for Jahlil Okafor at this point, and they seem like they're fine with that. And they will allow him to go to free agency and sign with another team. But if they can get rid of him, I can see them getting like a late first-round pick from a team, or I can see them getting 2 second-round picks from a championship team or a team that's on the rise, and they just want to take a swing at Jahlil Okafor before he hits free agency this upcoming season. So let me know what you guys think about Jahlil Okafor in the comment section below. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis signing out. First, check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the comment section description below. Click the link, it sends you to my website. Click the link, it sends you to my Facebook page. And if you like the video, like my Facebook page to show support and become a user on analysisplayground.com and become a part of the family. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm gone.